Dramatic, mystery, inspirational. It was the headline of the century. Arthur Sterling, the richest man in the city, the genius behind Sterling Tech, had declared bankruptcy. The news spread like wildfire. People couldn't believe it. How could a man who owned half the city lose everything overnight? But the shock didn't stop there. Mr. Sterling announced one final meeting, a private interview at his penthouse. He said he was looking for an heir, not a son, not a daughter, but a successor to inherit his last remaining secret. The requirement? Anyone could attend. Thousands applied, but only 10 people received the golden invitation. 9 of them were the city's elites, sharks from Wall Street, professors from Ivy League universities, and real estate tycoons. And then there was Leo. Leo was nobody, a college dropout, drowning in debt, wearing a cheap suit he bought from a thrift store. He didn't have a PhD. He didn't have millions. All he had was desperation and a pair of eyes that saw things differently. Dramatic, mystery, inspirational. The elevator doors opened to the penthouse. The room smelled of expensive leather and old money. The 9 elites stood in a circle, holding their crystal glasses, laughing politely. They looked at Leo like he was a stain on a white carpet. "Lost your way, pizza boy?" A man in a sharp blue suit sneered. That was Marcus, a ruthless investor. Leo didn't answer. He gripped his invite tighter. Suddenly, the heavy oak doors swung open. Silence fell over the room. Arthur Sterling walked in. He didn't look like a bankrupt man. He looked like a lion. Old, scarred, but still the king of the jungle. He walked to the center of the room, leaning on his cane. He didn't smile. "Welcome." Sterling's voice was low, but commanded instant attention. "You are here because you think you are the best. You think you know how to make money. You think you understand value." He paused, looking at each candidate in the eye. "But today, I don't care about your degrees. I don't care about your bank accounts. I want to see your vision." Dramatic, mystery, inspirational. Sterling snapped his fingers. 2 large servants entered, dragging huge, dirty industrial bags. Without a word, they overturned the bags right onto the pristine Persian carpet. Crash, thud, rotten apple cores, crumpled papers, broken electronics, old coffee cups, stained napkins. A stench filled the luxurious room. The elites gasped, stepping back in horror. Marcus covered his nose with a silk handkerchief. "What is the meaning of this?" a professor shouted. "Is this a joke?" Sterling stood calm next to the pile of filth. "This," Sterling pointed his cane at the trash, "is my challenge." He pulled out a stopwatch. "You have 10 minutes. Sell this pile of trash to me for $1 million. The room went dead silent. "If you cannot do it, leave. Now," Marcus yelled. "The old man has finally lost his mind. That's why he went bankrupt." "I am not touching garbage," the real estate tycoon spat. One by one, the elites turned their backs. They were insulted. They were dignified people. They dealt with stocks, with gold, with land, not with banana peels and broken glass. Within 3 minutes, the room was empty, except for Arthur Sterling and Leo. Leo stood there freezing. His brain screamed at him to run. "You are making a fool of yourself, Leo. Leave." But his feet wouldn't move. He thought about his empty fridge at home. He thought about his unpaid rent. He had nothing to lose. Sterling looked at Leo. "You are still here, boy? The clock is ticking. 7 minutes left." Leo took a deep breath. He walked towards the pile. The smell was awful. He knelt down. His cheap suit trousers touched the dirty floor. He didn't look at the trash as garbage. He looked at it as a puzzle. What is this? Why did Sterling keep this? Leo picked up a broken prototype of a phone. It was heavy, old tech. He picked up a crumpled piece of paper. He smoothed it out. It was a drawing, a bad drawing of a logo. the Sterling Tech logo, but different. He dug deeper. His hands got dirty. He found a coffee cup with lipstick on it. He found a torn diary page dated 40 years ago. Suddenly, Leo's eyes widened. He wasn't looking at trash anymore. He was looking at history. He realized that this wasn't just random garbage from a dumpster. This was Sterling's trash. Specifically, trash from his past. The broken phone was his first failed invention. The bad drawing was his first dream. The torn diary page was his first heartbreak. Leo stood up. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from excitement. "Time is up," Sterling announced coldly. "Make your pitch, boy, or get out." Leo didn't try to sell the items individually. He didn't try to recycle them. He looked Sterling in the eye. "Mr. Sterling," Leo began, his voice trembling slightly, "I cannot sell you this trash for $1 million. Sterling raised an eyebrow. "Then you waste my time." "No," Leo interrupted. "I cannot sell it as trash because this is not trash." Leo picked up the broken phone prototype. "This is the Sterling Mark I, the phone that exploded in your face and almost bankrupted you in 1980. But because it failed, you learned how to make the battery safe for the Mark II." Leo picked up the crumpled drawing. "This is the draft you drew on a napkin when you were 20, sitting in a diner, broke and hungry. This is where the empire began." Leo swept his hand over the pile. "These are not mistakes, sir. These are stepping stones. This pile represents the thousands of failures that built your success." Leo took a step forward. "I offer to buy this pile from you. Not for money, I have none. But I will clean it up. I will frame every piece, and I will open the Museum of Failure, an exhibition to show the world that even the great Arthur Sterling failed 1,000 times before he won." Leo paused. "I will sell tickets to dreamers who need hope. I will sell the story, not the object. And I promise you, sir, that story is worth far more than $1 million.